The scent of lilies and candle wax wrapped around me like a shroud as I gripped the edge of the pew, knuckles white, trying to keep my knees from giving out. The church looked like a painting in soft gold light, but it felt like a coffin. My son should have been turning 10 next month. Instead, I was staring at a tiny casket dressed in white and oak, with his name, Michael James Carter, engraved on a brass plate. I could hear his laugh in my head even now, high, breathless, the kind of laugh that made strangers smile in the grocery store. He'd loved dinosaurs and dragons and believed that heroes are just people who try harder. He had sticky fingers from peanut butter sandwiches and a knack for sneaking cookies when he thought I wasn't looking. The ache of those memories pressed against my ribs until I thought they would crack. The pews behind me were filled with family, neighbors, school friends. Some people wept quietly, others stared at their hands, avoiding my eyes. But the silence that hung over them wasn't just grief. It was something heavier. I'd been feeling it since the moment I walked in, an unspoken tension curling in the corners of the room. When the doors at the back of the church opened, that tension hardened. My brother, Jacob, stepped inside with his wife Clara and their daughter Emma. He wore a black suit, but still moved like he was late to a meeting, not his nephew's funeral. His face was set, jaw working, and his eyes flicked from person to person like he was bracing for impact. Clara kept her eyes down. Little Emma clutched a worn-out rabbit plush to her chest as if it were the only solid thing in the room. Jacob and I had once been inseparable. As kids, he'd been the funny one, the daring one, but fatherhood had carved hard edges into him. Over the last year, he'd grown bitter, critical, especially of me. He said I was too soft on Michael. He called my son wild more than once, even to my face. I'd written it off as jealousy or stress. But as he approached the front row now, I could feel something colder radiating from him. He reached me and gave a stiff nod. No hug, no words of comfort, just that nod. I still can't believe this happened, he muttered under his breath. Neither can I whispered. He hesitated, glanced at the casket, then at me. His lips tightened. But maybe it's for the best. I blinked. What? His eyes darted toward the people behind us, then back to me. He set his jaw and quietly said, Michael was, troubled. Maybe some kids are just, he lowered his voice, but not enough, better off dead. The words landed like a slap. My knees buckled and I caught myself on the pew. Around us, people shifted. Someone gasped. Clara's head jerked up, eyes wide. Emma pressed the rabbit to her face. Jacob, I hissed, don't you dare. He straightened, voice raising a notch. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. The boy was always getting into trouble, running off, starting fights, ignoring rules. This, he gestured toward the casket, maybe this was inevitable. A murmur rippled through the church. My mother covered her mouth. The priest froze at the altar, eyes wide. I stared at my brother. Grief ignited into something sharper. My son is lying in that coffin, and you're standing over him saying this? I whispered, voice trembling. He looked away, jaw clenched, and said nothing. The service began. The priest speaking words I barely heard. My head spun. Jacob's whisper had cracked something open. For weeks there had been rumors about Michael's death. Was it a car accident? Did he overdose? Did he jump? People whispered, but no one asked me directly. I'd told them it was an accident at the old quarry, a tragic fall. But Jacob's tone had seeded doubt, even in me. Like maybe my child was more than just a boy playing where he shouldn't. I closed my eyes and tried to breathe. Images of Michael flashed, him running ahead on the hiking trail, his sneakers skidding in dust, his small hands slipping out of mine to climb a rock, his voice shouting, "Look at me, Mom!" And then the phone call from the sheriff. My stomach knotted. At the front of the church, the priest's voice blurred as a boy of great courage and kindness. Behind me, someone sniffled, another whispered. The weight of the room pressed in. I felt like I was drowning in everyone's eyes. Then, a small, tremulous voice broke the air. "That's not true." I turned. Emma had stepped out from the pew, still clutching the rabbit. Her face was blotchy, eyes shiny with tears. She walked toward the altar with small, deliberate steps. People shifted to watch her. Even the priest went silent. She climbed the first step, then another, until she stood next to the pulpit. She turned toward the congregation, voice shaking but clear. "My Uncle Jacob is lying." Jacob's head snapped up. "Emma, sit down." She looked at him, then at me. "He said Michael was a bad kid. But Michael wasn't bad. He was kind. He saved me." My heart stopped. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" My voice cracked on the last word. Emma blinked hard, tears spilling. "At the quarry, I went there first. I slipped and Michael grabbed me. He held on until I could climb back up. He fell because he saved me." Gasps erupted. My knees gave out and I collapsed onto the pew. Clara's hands flew to her mouth. The priest crossed himself. Emma kept going, her small voice stronger now. "Michael wasn't bad. He's a hero." The church erupted. Some weeping, some clapping softly, others glaring at Jacob. The priest cleared his throat, visibly shaken. "Let us take a moment to honor the truth and this child's courage." I held Emma close, my tears soaking her hair. When the service ended, people approached me with hugs, apologies, whispered blessings. They touched Michael's casket like it was sacred. But they avoided Jacob. He sat alone in the pew, staring at nothing. Outside, the sky was a pale winter blue. As we carried the casket to the grave, Emma walked beside me, still clutching the rabbit. Clara trailed behind, eyes red. Jacob followed at a distance. At the cemetery, as earth thudded onto the small coffin, Emma slipped her rabbit from her arms and placed it on top. "For Michael." I touched her shoulder. "Thank you." The crowd drifted away slowly. Clara took Emma's hand and led her toward the car. Jacob lingered at the edge of the grave, shoulders hunched, looking like a man carved from stone. I didn't speak to him. I couldn't. In the days that followed, the story spread. First among family, then neighbors, then the local paper. 9-year-old dies saving cousin's life. The photo they ran showed Michael in his dinosaur t-shirt, grinning with missing front teeth. Letters poured in from strangers. People called him a hero. Someone left flowers at our door with a note, "Your son reminds us all of the good in the world." But for Jacob, everything unraveled. Friends stopped calling, his boss put him on leave, Clara moved out with Emma. The community that had once nodded to him at the grocery store now turned their backs. A week after the funeral, I got a letter from the school board. They wanted to name a playground after Michael. I said yes. It felt like a way to keep his name alive, not as a troubled kid my brother painted him as, but as a boy who tried harder, like he always said heroes did. One evening, as I sat at the kitchen table sorting condolence cards, there was a knock at the door. When I opened it, Jacob stood there, suit rumpled, eyes hollow. He said, "I'm sorry. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I thought if people blamed Emma, it would destroy her. I didn't want to lose her." I stared at him for a long time. "And what about me, Jacob? You didn't care that you destroyed me?" He lowered his head. "I was wrong." I said softly, "You were cruel and cowardly. You didn't just fail Emma, you failed Michael. He nodded, tears sliding down his face. I don't know if you can forgive me. I don't know either, I said. But you need to forgive yourself. And you need to make sure Emma knows she's safe. She's already suffered enough. He looked up at me, eyes red. I'll try. Good, I said, and closed the door. It's been a year since Michael's funeral. Sometimes I still wake up expecting to hear his laugh, to see his messy hair sticking up in the morning light. Instead, I see his photo on my nightstand, a boy brave beyond his years. Emma visits often. She brings flowers to his grave and whispers things only they know. Sometimes she asks if I think he's in heaven. I tell her yes, and that he's watching over her. She smiles a little when I say it, like she believes me. Jacob and I are not the same. Maybe we never will be. But I've seen him watching Emma with tears in his eyes, like he's seeing her for the first time. Maybe that's his penance. Michael may be gone, but he's not forgotten. His story lives on, not as the troubled kid my brother painted him as, but as a hero, a boy who gave his life to save another. And I will never stop telling that story. If you're hearing this, remember, behind every rumor, there's a truth. Don't let fear silence you. Don't let lies bury someone's legacy. Speak up. Stand up. Because sometimes even the smallest voice, a child's voice, can reveal the biggest truths. Michael's story isn't just mine. It's a reminder for all of us. Share it. Tell someone. Let his bravery live on.